question. Okay, so my email address is samsuzana@upm.edu.my. All of you can email me if you have any concern or want to discuss anything. You can email me, or you can also contact me through the WhatsApp group. However, I would like to give you some tips on communication through email and WhatsApp. So I hope everybody will keep in mind to maintain the formality when you communicate with your instructor of the class, or with your lecturers. So please put your name, introduce yourself, and then put the class that you've taken that you want to discuss about. Yeah. And then start with what you want to communicate. So basically, start with introducing yourself first and what class that you are taking with that lecturer, and then you can start to deliver the message. So don't just write like a message and email that doesn't have title, didn't even introduce yourself, because to be honest, lecturers receive a lot of emails every day from many people. So if you want us to answer your email or your message, please introduce yourself properly. Okay. Okay, so for this class, I go through again the class schedule. It should be Wednesday 3 to 5 p.m. So far, nobody have any problem, yeah, with this schedule?
Everything is fine. Okay, doctor.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. So if I hope there is no more changes, and this is final, the class schedule and the lab schedule. So the lab, we have 2 sessions, 2:30 until 4:30, and also 4:30 until 6:30. Okay. And the lab, I've heard that yesterday you had a hard time to find the location of the lab. So I hope everybody is familiar with the lab location right now. It's very near to the main building. Okay, and then okay, this is the distribution of the grading for your class, the grading. Okay, for the grading, 20% will goes to your test 1. So we will have a test 1. Usually, test 1 will be conducted after week 7 or during week 7. Okay, so basically after half of the lesson in the course, then we're gonna have a test. And then we have 10% assessment for your lab activities, and then your lab report and assignments. Okay. 15% lab report and assignment, 50%, and then you will have a class project, 15%. So there will be a chunk of percentage goes to your class project, and I'm really excited about the project for this semester. So I hope everybody can commit to can give a full commitment to conduct their class project for this semester, and it will consist of 15% of your total marks. And then we're going to have a final exam, 40%. Okay. Is there any questions about the grading?
No.
All right, so it's very clear. So before we further discuss about the course, let's introduce ourselves and get to know each other first. I think you guys have not met me yet in any other courses. This is your first time meeting me.
Yes.
Okay. So I think it's very important for us to get to know each other first. Siapa yang dah buka Putra Blast? Anybody has opened up your Putra Blast?
Yes.
I had put on an activity. Yeah. So I would like to have every one of you to put up your own profile in the Padlet. Okay. So okay. So you can scan the Padlet here. And then in the Padlet, put the most charming photos of yourself, and then describe one thing that is not true about yourself, and then two things that is true about yourself. Okay, can we do it right now together? Everybody can scan the QR code?
Yeah.
Okay, scan the QR code. Let's have like 5 minutes so that everybody can do their profile, and then after 5 minutes, I will go through the profile and read. Maybe randomly choose the profile, and I want to ask your class member to guess which are the fact that is not true about yourself, and which one are the true about yourself. Okay, for the time being, I will open the Padlet. Okay, we have a few here who already posted. Okay. Letak gambar ya. Nak gambar yang paling handsome. You can selfie right now and just put it here. So all of you are right now in the campus? Semua orang semua orang daripada bilik masing-masing ke?
Semua.
Betul.
Oh, so far macam mana dengan internet connection, okay ke daripada kelas-kelas lain yang dah ambil, dah start ke belum?
Ngam. Semua ngam.
Internet kadang-kadang lambat lah.
Kadang-kadang ada juga lah problem ya.
Betul.
Tapi so far kita punya kelas ni macam okay kan?
Okay.
So seems like okay. Cuma you all tak dapat turn on camera lah kan? Kalau turn on camera nanti internet ni ke?
Saya punya internet kalau on kamera lambat.
So you all guna internet sendiri atau you all guna internet college?
Internet college ya.
Sendiri.
Tengok semua you all punya profile semua tiru yang macam born in Sarawak, ex-diploma UPMKB. Banyak yang sama kan? Buatlah yang menarik sikit. Tapi your batch, most of you are from ex-diploma UPMKB
For the first year,
UPMKB is Kota Baru or Bintulu? Campus
Bintulu. Campus Bintulu.
Okay, siapa lagi yang belum buat ni? Ramai lagi ni, cepat sikit. Siapa lagi yang belum buat ke? Or maybe I will share ke tak boleh buka dia punya link tu. Padlet dia dah ramai dah ni letak gambar. Okay, good. Okay, letaklah hobi apa lagi yang you suka buat. Daniel Haziq. Right, Daniel is from Penang.
Betul, doktor.
Okay, dah tu dah bagi jawapan dah tu. Kita nak teka ni which one yang not true about yourself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, make sure you put one things that is not true about yourself and then two things that are true about yourself. So there ada daripada 3 information about yourself tu ada satu yang tak betul. So I would like your classmate to guess which one is not right later. Alright, dah ramai ke? Semua dah tulis ke? Okay, sementara menunggu semua tulis, let me pick randomly jap. Kat sini, you all nampak kan? Dia akan terus, dia tak boleh tengok semua kan dekat sini. You all nampak tak my screen? With all the Padlet, with all the profile tu? Okay, bolehkah kita pick randomly sekarang? Dah siap ke profil masing-masing?
Ni Jipin mau try, doktor.
Apa dia?
Daniel Jipin.
Apa Jipin? Daniel Jipin. Okay, okay, you all pilih Daniel Jipin Okay. Tapi Daniel Jipin ni belum letak gambar. Daniel, nanti letak gambar
Okay, doktor.
Alright, so Daniel, so let me read about Daniel. Daniel is 22 years old, born in Sabah and also ex-diploma UPM-KB. So which one of the fact is not true? Alamak, dah terlari dah Daniel punya ni. Here. Maybe saya nak tanya Nurul Najiha. Do you know which one is not true about Daniel here? Nurul Najiha?
I think everything is right about him.
Daniel tak pandai kelentong ni Daniel ni. Dia tulis semua betul.
Wah.
I ask you to put one fact that is not true about yourself. Kan? Okay, so Daniel, betul ke Daniel semua benda ni? 22 years old, born in Sabah and you were from UPM-KB last time?
Yes. Everything is true.
Everything is true. So Daniel ni very honest bakal boyfriend yang very honest ni. Okay. Alright, so let's read siapa lagi? Siapa lagi? Ni Amir.
Azlan Fakar.
Siapa?
Azlan.
Okay, Azlan. Mana Azlan punya?
Nanti doktor tengah buat.
Azlan.
Tengah upload.
Okay.
Mustaqim.
Mustaqim. Yes, Mustaqim. Here, Mustaqim. So Mustaqim born in Kuala Lumpur, 21 years old. Love to speak English. Can I hear from you, Mustaqim?
Yes, doctor. I'm really love to speak in English.
Oh, very good. Okay, and then pro in FIFA 21. Ni obvious sangat ni.
Obvious sangat ni.
Obvious sangat menipu ni, tak pandai menipu girlfriend ni. Pro in. Ini girlfriend boleh.
Pro.
Betul tak? Betul tak? Yang lain semua betul kecuali pro in FIFA 21 tu.
Semua
Yes,
salah.
I think all is
Semua
wrong
salah,
except 21 years old.
Semua salah. 21
Semua salah.
salah. Ni kuat menipu. Ni kuat kelentong girlfriend ni. Muhammad Mustaqim.
Muka tu bukan gamer
I
sama.
have no girlfriend. Doctor.
Oh, you have girlfriend yet? Okay, so probably you want to learn how to speak truthfully, so that you will have a girlfriend soon.
Inshallah one day.
He have a lot of ex. Doktor.
I see. Okay. Tapi betul tak gambar ni? Is it your true ni photos Mustaqim?
Betul. Yes.
Okay, handsome ni.
His favorite selfie, doctor.
Okay, trademark buat tangan macam tu.
Yes.
Okay, let's pick some ladies pula. Ni ramai ni jejaka-jejaka. Okay, saya ni dah nampak ni Wan Nur Fatihatul Shifa binti Zulkifli. Okay, Wan Nur Fatihatul Shifa likes to cook, from Melaka and 22 years old. Okay, so which one are not true about Wan Nur Fatihatul Shifa? Anybody want to guess?
Ipoh.
Apa tu?
Shifa from Ipoh.
Oh, not from Melaka kan?
Yeah.
Alright, Shifa. Tapi betul ke likes to cook tu?
Yeah, dia jual ikan tornado.
So bolehlah kita nanti kita plan nak rasa ni. Masakan Wan Nur Fatihatul Shifa ni.
Coklat tornado.
Okay.
Sikit-sikit je doktor.
Masak apa?
Ah?
Masak apa?
Masak apa? Doktor nak saya masak apa? Cik.
Semua boleh
InsyaAllah boleh.
Alright. Okay. Siapa lagi? Shifa, cuba pilih satu lagi profil untuk kita baca. Kat sini.
Ahmad Lutfi.
Ahmad Lutfi. Let's see Ahmad Lutfi. Yeah, itu dia Ahmad Lutfi. Kan berbaju merun betul. Ahmad Lutfi berasal dari Sungai Petani Kedah, 21 years old. And ASPER. ASPER is stand for?
Asasi Sains Pertanian UPM.
I see. Okay. Okay, saya nak siapa yang teka Saya pilih seorang untuk teka yang mana satu adalah tidak benar mengenai mengenai Ahmad Lutfi. Let me choose Nur Syafiqah binti Saji. Syafiqah. What do you think, which one is the right one for Ahmad Lutfi dalam profile dia? Is Syafiqah here? Tak dengar Syafiqah? Okay, what about Nur Faris binti Suliman?
Yes, doktor.
Okay, do you know about Ahmad Lutfi? Which one is not right about the fact that he wrote in the Padlet?
I guess maybe the age.
20 years.
I'm not sure, doktor.
Okay, 21 years old tu Sungai Petani Kedah tu macam betul kan, sebab nampak macam orang Kedah ni, muka mamak betul ni. Lepas tu ASPER tu I don't know, maybe betul. So 21 years old ni muda sangat kot Ahmad Lutfi.
Uish, saya muda. Betul lah tu.
So Lutfi dan Daniel, you all sharing ni Korang guna yang sama
Ah,
Oh, korang berdua ada kat situ lah.
betul-betul.
Roommate doktor.
Okay. So which one is not right about your profile ni? 21 years old. Okay, tu dia nampak dah ramai-ramai. Okay, which one is not right about Lutfi? Sebenarnya you 22 years old kan?
Semuanya betul. Saya tak reti menipu lah tu.
So ni memang ni lah truthful boyfriend ni. Okay. Alright, so tujuan saya buat profile ni untuk basically untuk ice breaking lah with all of you. I would love to know each one of you, and hopefully by doing this exercise, I can get to know you better. So ada yang gambar kat air terjun, so I know you like to hiking ni. Siapa Amir Faizal? Amir suka hiking ke? Mana Amir?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here, doctor.
Alright, so where is it? The location of the place ni? Apa waterfall tu?
Sungai Kedondong,
Sungai Kedondong dekat Selangor ke?
dekat Selangor. Dia dekat belah Uriau.
Dekat sebelah. Okay, dekat dengan Batang Kali
Boleh dah. Dia memang menghala ke Genting.
Betul. Ya, okay. Saya pernah pergi kat area sungai situ juga, tapi bukan Sungai Kedondong lah. Okay, so apa tu Top Global Franco?
Game tu.
Okay, game. Ya Allah, tuanya saya tak tahu apa benda ni Top Global Franco. Rupanya game Oh, FIFA 21 tu pun game lah.
Betul. Game bola. Hakim lagi noob lah.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so terima kasih kepada semua. Saya tak sempat baca semua all your profile ni, and hopefully nanti siapa yang belum isi boleh isikan, sebab saya akan sharekan Padlet ni dekat, basically dah share pun dekat in your Putra Blast. I already shared this Padlet and we'll be using it throughout the semester lah. So dia akan ada kat dalam kita punya Putra Blast, and every time we can always refer to lah siapa the class member. So before that, I would like to also introduce myself. Okay, antara tiga-tiga ni, tiga informasi mengenai diri saya dekat sini. Saya tulis, I'm 30 years old, born in Pahang, and I had a PhD in agricultural engineering from Iowa State University, USA. So, anybody want to guess which one is not right?
30 years old.
30 years old.
Di kawan. Okay, siapa guess 30 years old? Boleh apa tu? Korang boleh buat ni kan? Buat apa tu? Angkat tangan, boleh tak? Boleh tu, angkat tangan. Siapa setuju, siapa tak setuju saya 30 tahun? Okay, boleh tak tolong tulis dekat chat box umur saya? Okay, make a guess. Siapa dapat guess umur saya? Yang betul, saya akan bagi hadiah misteri.
29 tahun.
Okay, tulis. Dah ke? Semua dah berpuas muktamad dengan jawapan masing-masing? Daniel Jipin, kejamnya kamu. Umur saya 46. Daniel Jipin, kalau salah jawapan kamu kena denda, okey?
Okay.
46, kejam. Okey, siapa lagi nak teka? Dah kan? Semua dah ke? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, tutup. Okay, stop semua, tak boleh guys. Okay, saya punya umur yang sebenar adalah jeng. Ujung dia 1. Salah, jawapannya adalah 41 years old.
41.
Okay. So apa ni jawapan 41 ni dah lewat dah ni. Saya dah bagi clue awal kan. So I'm actually 41 years old. I already have children. I've married for a long time, dah lama dah kahwin. 41 years old with 4 children. Saya ada 4 orang anak, semuanya anak perempuan. So siapa-siapa jejaka truthful tu, bolehlah tu. Tapi anak-anak saya masih muda lagi lah. Dia orang baru umur 12 tahun, janganlah nak mengorak anak saya ya. Okay, so that's basically about myself. Ada apa-apa soalan lagi tak sebelum kita teruskan our class today. So basically for the class today, I don't want to go straight to the content of the course. Let us have ice breaking dulu lah, mengenali each other. Lepas tu saya akan intro sikit-sikit mengenai course ni, apa you all perlu, what do you expect from the class kan. So I also would like to know your expectation from the beginning of the class. So based on your expectation tu, at the end of the class, I hope kita akan capai apa yang kita plan out for the course lah. So saya sangat memberi harapan kepada kelas ni, dan I would like everybody to enjoy the class. So hopefully at the end of the semester, everybody will learn something. If you couldn't score with the grade, but at least you learn some values from the course that I'm conducting. Okay? So ada soalan-soalan tadi. Siapa tadi tu? Daniel yang teka saya punya umur 46 tu. Daniel kan? Daniel JP nanti akan ada denda Okay, lepas tu Luke Younger, terima kasih bagi tips awet muda. Tips awet muda kena selalu ceria-ceria lah, jangan jangan suka marah-marah. Betul tak? Siapa setuju?
Betul.
Okay, nanti kalau saya marah-marah ke, kamu ingatkanlah saya nanti tua. Nanti cepat tua. Alright, okay, so that will be our first ice breaking activity. Let's go back to our slide presentation semula. Okay, so ada apa-apa soalan lagi mengenai diri saya? So saya, I have my PhD, Masters and PhD actually in the US from Iowa State University in Agricultural and Biosystem Engineering. So samalah dengan course yang you all ambil sekarang ni. So I had my Masters and PhD degree sama macam you all punya program. But my first degree was from UTM Skudai, University Technology Malaysia in the field of electrical and telecommunication system. Okay, so that is about myself. So okay, dari segi personal and hobby, saya suka outdoor activities. Saya suka running. I like to also hiking, running, apa lagi? A sports activity. I play many sports. Antaranya badminton, bola jaring, hoki, bola tampar, pingpong, apa lagi? Siapa pandai main bola jaring? You all lelaki?
Tak pandai.
Lelaki?
Pandai. Gigi pandai. Vivi pandai.
What about volleyball?
Viviana pandai.
Oh, so Viviana memang ni lah, sports girl lah.
Azlan.
Azlan main apa?
Bola sepak.
Bola sepak. Okay. Saya tak pandai main football, tapi saya boleh main apa tu?
Futsal.
Futsal saya boleh. Nanti kalau kita nak buat, kalau tak ada COVID-19 boleh lah kita buat futsal tournament.
Boleh.
Boleh Doktor, boleh.
Okay, and then I also like to do outdoor activities like camping, hiking. So that's why saya tahulah, saya get familiar myself with sungai-sungai ke air terjun, waterfall tu memang saya punya favourite lah tu. Kalau you all ada organize hiking trip ke, bolehlah ajak. Alright, ada soalan mengenai diri saya sebelum kita teruskan? So to those who have not done your profile on Padlet, please do so. Nanti saya akan semak. Hopefully everybody ada profile dekat dalam Padlet. So I think we have around 24 student kot dalam kelas ni after a few yang drop dan masuk balik macam tu. 24. Tapi saya tak semak lagi kat SMP. Okay, so what is the end game? Ingat kamu punya FIFA 21 juga ada end game. In our course EAB 361 tu pun we should be able to understand what is our end game so that during the course you know what you want to do to achieve the outcome of the course. Okay? Ada soalan setakat ni? So the outcome of the course as you can see from the slide here. Okay, number 1, you should be able at the end of the semester you should be able to conduct uncertainty analysis for measured values from a measurement system. So this course is about a measurement system. So at the end of the day, after we do measurements and we have the data, you should be able to conduct the uncertainty analysis. So later we will learn about how we do the uncertainty analysis. Okay, number 2, you should be able to identify and specify a complete range of instruments for use with biological systems. Okay, so we are going to learn about a few tools and equipments that is used suitable for biological system. Okay, and also one of the outcome is for you to be able to design signal conditioning circuit from the sensors and transducers for the purpose of interfacing with recording system. So in your lab too, I think everybody dah buat lab kan semalam. So we have given you a set of Ecoarduino board tools kan, satu set. So from that later you are going to learn about how to use the set and then we are going to use it to collect data from agricultural system. Okay, so hopefully by using those kits that I've distribute to all of you, you'll be able to see how the signal conditioning circuit in there and then how you interface it with recording system. Okay, any questions before we move forward? Ada soalan tak?
Tak ada.
Yeah. Okay, there are a few textbooks that you can use for this class. Okay, one is the Instrumentation for Engineering Measurements by James W. Daly, 1993. And then also we have a textbook called Measurement, Instrumentation and Sensors Handbook. I have this book in my office. So if any one of you would like to borrow from me, of course, I can always share with you. And then also I will have an extra notes that I made myself and also handouts that will be distributed to the class lah later. As the lecture progress, I will let you know from time to time. And I will also upload it into the Putra Blast, the handouts and the notes for your reference. Okay, next. Okay, sebelum kita teruskan, ada apa-apa soalan lagi? Ada apa-apa soalan tak sebelum kita teruskan? Kalau tak ada, kita nak buat aktiviti ke? Kita teruskan. Teruskan dulu lepas ni kita akan ada aktiviti. Okay, kita teruskan dulu. So just a very brief introduction about instrumentation for biological system. Okay, so from the word instrumentation, do you understand what is the meaning by the word of instrumentation? Siapa boleh beritahu apa itu? What is instrument? What is an instrument? Siapa saya nak panggil nama ni. Let's see from the participant list. Randomly, I will pick Ivan.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ivan, could you explain what is your understanding about engineering instrument?
Kejuruteraan peralatan.
Kejuruan peralatan. So what is it? What is it?
Tak tahu juga.
Okay. So kalau fikir, if you think a bit, kan, apa sebenarnya itu? Is engineering instrument tu? So instrument ni adalah alat kan? Is a
Yeah.
tool. Yeah. So instrument is a tool. Tool for what? Okay, engineering instrument is a device or tool to make measurement. So basically alat yang kita gunakan untuk membuat pengukuran. Okay, that is engineering instrument. And pengukuran tu adalah pengukuran tertentu lah untuk engineering. Sebab kalau kita ukur ukur apa? You nak ukur saiz pinggang. So saiz pinggang tak adalah engineering sangat, betul tak? Dia macam all of us akan ukur kita punya saiz badan, saiz that is also pengukuran, but that is not engineering measurements. Okay, so engineering measurement usually there are basic engineering measurement parameters. Okay, so basic engineering parameters can be classified into two main categories. One is mechanical quantities and the other one is thermal quantities. Okay. So nampaknya kat sini mechanical quantity and also thermal quantity kan? Nampak tak? So what is mechanical quantity? Siapa boleh bagi contoh what is mechanical quantity? Anybody want to give example of mechanical quantity? Anybody?
Centimeter.
Centimeter, is it a quantity? Centimeter.
Unit.
Yeah.
Unit.
Centimeter is a unit. But what are the parameters that you measure?
Length.
Acceleration.
Force.
Acceleration.
Velocity. Density. No. Force.
What is it?
Power.
Okay. Good. So those are all the parameters that we measured. Okay, mechanically, betul lah tu, kita biasanya in mechanical we measure force, torque, right? Force, torque, pressure. Okay, those are all the physical and measurement. Okay, in mechanical quantity. We also have thermal quantity. What is it do we measure in thermal quantity?
Temperature.
Temperature, heat, right? The amount of heat that is dissipated from a material, thermal. So thermal quantity also is very important parameters for basic engineering. Okay, but that is basic engineering. Secara generalnya, engineer selalunya mengukur parameter-parameter tersebut. Namun dalam kelas kita, we are about instrumentation for biological system. So biological engineers, agricultural and biological engineers, mereka mengukur apa? What do they measure?
Soil humidity.
Okay, soil humidity is one example of it. Good. Alia, siapa lagi?
Oxygen level.
Apa tu Azlan? Oxygen level. Okay, good.
pH tanah.
Okay, pH tanah. So all those parameters are what? What are they? So those parameters that your friends has mentioned, they are all parameters that is related to biological system, right? System that are related to biology and living organism. Okay. So, so what are the system that is related to biology or living organism? So, system relating to biology means semua benda biologically lah, macam haiwan, tumbuhan dan manusia, they are biological kan? And then living organism lah, so meaning something yang hidup dan bernafas. Okay. However, your friend also mentioned that we measure soil pH tadi kan? So soil is not living organism, right? But it is also part of the biological system because biological living organism, they are depending on the environment of the system. Okay, contohnya haiwan dan tumbuhan bergantung kepada tanah, air dan udara. So all those systems are related to biological and living organisms. So those are the things that we measure. So some of the biological parameters that we measure, just like what your friends mentioned, pH, pH, apa lagi, soil moisture. So biologi ni banyak, sangat banyak benda yang boleh diukur lah. So in this class, we would like to discuss about how do we measure those things. Principally, yang paling basic sekali lah. If we are talking about a very detailed biological system, contohnya you nak measure the virus inside the plants, that will require a very specific instrumentation, sensing system yang very sophisticated, right? Okay, so but we will discuss in a very basic manner of how do we measure biological system. Okay, any questions from the class sebelum kita proceed kepada activity?
No.
Tak ada soalan, semua faham setakat ni apa yang saya cuba terangkan?
Faham.
Alright. Sekejap ni, kenapa saya punya ni macam dia stop kat sini. I want to go back to the next. Alright, so now is a breakout room. Saya nak divide all of you into breakout room. Okay, lepas tu each breakout room saya akan mohon untuk bincangkan one example of instrumentation system yang saya akan bagi. Okay? Bersedia untuk pergi ke breakout room?
Yes.
Okay, saya akan buat, you all ada berapa orang ni? 19 orang. So saya akan buat dalam 9 breakout room. So dia akan randomly you tak pastilah you akan dapat masuk dalam grup mana. So kalau 9 akan ada 2 orang saja satu grup. Okay, saya buat 9 saya buat berapa 18 bahagi 36. Okay. Okay, 3 orang per room. Okay, dah boleh masuk ke breakout room masing-masing, please. Okay, semua dah dapat masuk. Okay, nampaknya semua dah masuk kat dalam breakout room masing-masing. Okay, so mana saya nak bagi? So while you are in the breakout room, do you see my slide? Nampak tak? Sekejap You all You all dengar tak suara saya masa korang dekat dalam breakout room?
Tak.
Tak dengar doktor.
Ya ke?
Tak ada.
Okay, mungkin saya kena bagi, saya bagi dulu assignment, lepas tu baru you all masuk dalam breakout room, okay? So, saya ada share with all of you the slide. So, korang buat apa dekat dalam breakout room tadi? Tak dengar
Tak ada
apa?
buat apa.
Menunggu.
Okay. Alright. So, okay, kita buat macam ni. So, ada lagi tu yang dekat dalam breakout room. Room number 4 dia tak nak keluar. Daniel dengan Vivian buat apa tu dekat dalam room 4 tu? Okay, sorry guys. Sebab you all bila masuk breakout room terus tak dengar suara saya kan? Okay, so kita buat macam ni.
Betul doktor.
Okay, kita buat macam ni. Saya assign dulu. Okay, saya assign dulu assignment untuk setiap group. Lepas tu baru you all masuk breakout room. Okay, tadi so ikut room yang tadi yang you all dah dapat masuk tadi, room-room tadi tu. Okay, room nombor 1 Alia dengan siapa? 208499 ni. Alia 2049 dengan seorang lagi Robert kan? So you all discuss on topic ni. Okay, yang ni. Slide number 9. Okay. So I would like you guys to discuss about this biological instrumentation system. Kita akan bagi masa dalam macam 5 ke 10 minit. You all buatlah apa-apa. Lepas tu nanti bila kita dah habis breakout room, I will call the group to make a presentation. And make sure your presentation is, presentation tu tak kisah macam mana you nak present cakap macam tu je ke, or you gonna put a page yang you nak cerita pasal the instrument. Okay, so make sure it's fun Okay, faham tak apa yang you nak kena buat? So group nombor, okay, group nombor 1 slide nombor 9. Group nombor 2 slide nombor 10. Group nombor 3 slide nombor 11. Group nombor 4 slide nombor 12. Okay. Group 5 slide nombor 13. Group 6 slide nombor 14. Semua dah ada kan? 4 group je kan? Boleh?
Boleh.
Okey, boleh kita mula sekarang. Setiap group diberi masa dalam 5 hingga 10 minit. Nanti tengok macam mana. Saya rasa tak payah lama-lama lah kan, 5 minit je 5 minit, lepas tu saya akan close back the breakout rooms. Lepas tu you all present, each group present what is your understanding about each of the devices or instrumentation system yang saya share. Okay, in the count of 1, 2, 3, I open back all the room.
Manchester berfungsi.
Betul.
Hai doktor.
Hai,
Hai
okay.
doktor.
Room 6. Okay tak?
Okay,
Okay.
tadi okay.
Okay, alright. Okay, bye. I'll go to another room.
Bye. Doktor.
Ada soalan?
Yang lain macam mana buat supaya dia menarik?
Dia nak menarik kan? Cara penyampaian mungkin boleh dia buat dia menarik atau nanti seorang share screen lah. Apa yang you tulis.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay kan. Apa lagi yang tak ada ni? Yang akak boleh cari.
Ya.
So function.
Adakah ambil function
Ambil function tu.
Okay.
So
Assalamualaikum tim nombor 3.
lama apa yang tinggal?
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, so okay tak? Tim nombor 3, do you need more time to discuss?
Yes, doktor. A little bit of time.
Okay. Alright. I'm just checking. I will join another room.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, kita dah. Udah back to the main room kah? Dah kan? Okay, can we start with team nombor berapa, room nombor berapa dulu nak apa? Nak give the presentation?
Random.
Random, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. Team number 3 will be yang ni kan? Green Seeker Crop Sensor ke?
Yes.
Alright, so team number 3. The floor is yours. Ada nak share ke? Sorry. Siapa tu team number 3? Silakan.
Itu orang Doktor.
Okay. Siapa? Hakim Amin dengan Luqman ke?
Ya, saya. Ya, kami.
Okay. Silakan.
Dengan Anelka dengan Kak Faris.
Okay, silakan.
Alright, ya.
Oh, nak share? Ke saya kena stop share?
Tak share, tak share.
Stop share. Boleh share. Silakan. Teruskan.
Kita orang tak ada apa-apa bahan Doktor nak share.
Oh, okay. Tak ada share. Okay. So, silakan terus.
Okey, jangan nak ni. Okey, boleh. Oh, ni. Okey, untuk Green Seeker Crop Sensor ni.
Okay, so sebenarnya apa yang kami faham daripada Green Seeker Crop Sensor ni, dia adalah merupakan satu sistem yang menggunakan optical sensor untuk mengukur dan quantify the variability of the crop. So crop sensor ni juga dia akan create satu target prescription untuk treat the crop variability. So kalau kita gunakan Green Seeker Crop Sensor ni juga untuk apply dekat UAN, urea and NH3 which is ammonia kan? Ammonia untuk bantu increasekan lagi kita punya hasil tanaman dan meningkatkan lagi keuntungan kita lah dalam crop tu.
Okay.
Dan Green Seeker ni dia ada dua. Satu dia boleh pegang, satu lagi dia boleh lekat macam dia attach dekat mesin. Contoh dia macam truk, benda-benda yang melibatkan pertanian.
Betul? Okay.
Okay. Disebabkan terdapat Green Seeker pemegang ni, so dia telah memudahkan kepada para petani untuk melakukan untuk mengumpul data kerana dia mudah untuk pegang dan juga affordable kepada semua petani.
Okay, alright. Ada lagi ke?
Untuk function, adakah?
Untuk function dia untuk macam siapa tadi yang begitu member group begitu untuk measure the quantify the variability of the crop, and it also help to increase the crop yield and ultimately increase your profitability. That's all.
Okay, ada lagi?
Saya nak tambah sikit. Apa dia punya benefit, apa tu advantage dia, macam tadi group cakap, dia sebab senang nak pegang. So dia memudahkan petani lah. Lepas tu dia membantu dari segi help reduce nitrogen cost. So kemudian kejap. Dan dia juga membantu untuk meminimizekan dia punya kehilangan nitrogen dalam produk jagung. Itulah yang saya faham. Okay. Tu je.
Saja ya daripada room 3 kan.
Ya, Doktor.
Okay, thank you very much. So basically, you have studied the general functionality of the green sickle crop sensor. Tapi persoalan yang paling penting sebenarnya bila kita mengenali ataupun kita jumpa sesuatu instrumen tu, kita kena tahu apa sebenarnya parameters yang diukur. Kalau dalam kes ni, apakah parameter yang diukur menggunakan green sickle crop sensor tu?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, okay. So in this case, dia gunakan nitrogen. Dia ukur nitrogen. Apakah teknik yang dia gunakan untuk mengukur nitrogen tu?
Dia kesan sensor of wavelength.
Ya, itu adalah teknik optics. Okay, optical, menggunakan optical technology. Basically macam you sense the color lah, the color of the and the reflectance of the signal that you send to the leaf, and then the reflectance tu akan relate with the color and the amount of nitrogen lah. Okay, so thank you very much room number 3 for discussing about the green sickle crop sensor. Okay, next group mana yang nak present dulu? Group 5. Group 5, the equipment is ni ke? Multispectral camera ke atau through NIR sensor?
Multispectral.
Okay. Okay, silakan multispectral, silakan group 5 in short and quick.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon to all. First is I'm going to talk about a little bit about multispectral imaging. So multispectral imaging is image that you can from the multispectral camera you can have more than one spectral band. So meaning you can have the RGB and also with something like that punya spectral. So you can have more than one punya band. Apa ni? Extra. Not all apa ni? Tak semua manusia tak boleh tengok ada certain wavelength. So by this thing we can see it.
Okay, next for the application of multispectral camera, mainly used by farmers to evaluate soil productivity and analyze plant health. So how does it work? The multispectral camera, we can see various colors. So it can help the farmer to view damaged crops and make the necessary modifications to the crop management. So if the farmer see different color in the camera, like usually they will see green color for the normal crop. But if they see red color, it means the crop is damaged. So in that way, they can make modifications to for the better plant growth. Similarly, used in meat and fish inspection, multispectral camera, we can also use it to check whether there is cuts, fat, and any damaged bone content in the meat or fish body. So that's all for the application for me. So Hasanah, maybe you can continue.
For multispectral camera, setakat yang saya dah Google setakat ni, macam Lutfi dengan Daniel cakap, mata kita boleh tengok wavelength 700 ada beberapa peratus wavelength yang manusia tak boleh tengok, jadi kita guna multispectral camera. Kalau ikutkan macam dalam gambar slide yang doktor bagi, ni contoh macam penggunaan kilang makanan akan inspect foods, sama ada foods tu bagus, okey untuk dipackkan untuk dijual. Untuk macam ada contoh macam Daniel Haziq bagi, untuk dalam kawasan yang lebih besar, kita boleh gunakan drone, attach pada drone. So kita akan nampak kawasan itu lebih luas lah. Dia ikut keperluan kita ataupun farmer nak gunakan multispectral camera untuk food ke atau untuk crops dia ke, ada satu macam tu. Okay. Itu saja.
Okay, so Hasanah, kalau macam yang dalam gambar ni,
Ya.
macam dalam gambar ni, what do you think they do with the multispectral camera for the apples?
Mungkin untuk inspect makanan tu cukup masak ke ataupun ada busuk ke, macam tu. Kualiti dia.
Okay. Alright, so very good. So basically, if you look at the image that we share on the screen, so basically it's used for apples quality monitoring lah. Okay, so you can based on the camera, they can analyze the quality of the apples and segregate them into different quality standards. Contoh kalau yang grade A, bayaran dia, the cost ataupun selling price dia lebih tinggi daripada yang group C contohnya. So it's for quality monitoring. So thank you very much group number 5, room number 5. Next we shall proceed to group number 1, boleh? Group number 1 will be ni kan, growth rendering device.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's share the screen. Betul. I want to share screen.
Oh, you want to share screen? Boleh kan?
Yes. Alright.
Silakan. Boleh kan?
You guys can see. You guys can see the screen. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So ada video, okay. What is it?
So this is the growth rendering device. The main equipment in this device is the vertical scanner. Second is inkjet printer, and the grow light. Semasa proses ini, makanan dan cahaya dibekalkan kepada tumbuhan. Proses ini akan berlangsung selama 24 hours dan selepas katakan kertas kosong ni penuh, dia akan mengeluarkan kertas baru sepanjang 4 inci. So tujuan utama device ni adalah untuk to record plant development. Okay. Dia punya outcome kita tak boleh decide sebab
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back balik Robert yang gambar di tadi.
Alright.
Stop. Okay. Fungsi alat ni sebenarnya dia macam printing. Dia akan printkan pembesaran pokok ini selama 24 jam. Pokok ini mesin ini membekalkan contohnya dia seperti hidroponik. Kat bawah sini balang dia tu disediakan nutrien sama dengan hidroponik, iaitu menggabungkan baja A dan B. Lepas tu dia menyediakan seperti cahaya matahari menggunakan bulb. Dia akan analisis selama 24 jam untuk melihat berapa inci ataupun berapa pembesaran daun dia setiap minit, setiap saat. So, fungsi utama alat ini untuk menganalisis pembesaran pokok. Sekian, terima kasih.
Okay, terima kasih. Ada lagi daripada group number 1? Ni group number berapa? 1 kan?
1.
Ya. Itu saja ke?
Alih nak tambah kah?
Alright, thank you very much group number 1. So for presenting the growth rendering device, so basically it is a device that has been developed by a researcher to monitor plant growth. Okay, so dia nak tengok macam mana pokok tu membesar dalam masa 24 jam. So dia buat satu jenis printing printing device berdasarkan bentuk dan saiz pokok. Dan dia print terus di dinding. Very interesting. I think this is an example of a biological instrumentation system that has been produced by researchers and engineers lah. In this case, it was David Bowen from University of Minnesota. Okay, can I have group number 4? Group number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fruit NIR sensor.
Yes, Doctor.
You want to share screen or you just using my slide?
I share screen.
All right, okay.
Felix Instruments.
Applied Food Science.
Harvesting immature produce has a negative impact on the eating quality of fruit. Judging fruit maturity by shape and color alone results in varying success. Measurements of sugar content, dry matter, and other parameters are often inefficient and time-consuming, burdening growers, packers, and handlers. The F750 Produce Quality Meter was designed to provide the industry with a fast and reliable method of measuring produce quality non-destructively. The F750 is a handheld measurement tool that analyzes intact fruits for both the internal and external traits that contribute to produce quality. With the F750 Produce Quality Meter, growers can accurately predict and anticipate optimum harvest time by measuring fruit as it matures. The unit aids packers and handlers in the process of culling, classification, and organization. Using visible and near-infrared spectroscopy, the F750 reports quantitative estimates of substances such as chlorophyll and traits that involve multiple substances such as total soluble solids, dry matter, and many more. The F750 can also be used to build models based on qualitative metrics such as flavor index and consumer preference. In order to measure produce quality, users must first train the device by building a model tailored to their commodity. The included Model Builder software package enables users to create up to 1,000 models and use them seamlessly, tailoring the device to their commodity. The F750 Produce Quality Meter from Felix Instruments gives the agricultural and post-harvest industry superior control over the quality of their products.
Yang fruit sensor ini dia adalah untuk detect itu kematangan buah. Dia ada beberapa cara lah. Lepas tu saya akan pass bagi Daniel.
Okay.
Okay. Kalau kita tengok video tadi kan, ni fruit NIR sensor, dia guna electromagnetic electromagnetic wave untuk detect compound content di dalam buah-buahan yang dia cuba sense lah untuk maturity. Lepas tu kan ni sensor dia emit electromagnetic wave. So bila electromagnetic wave dia dia pancarkan tinggi tu ini buah kan, the fruit absorb the wave, then the wave reflected back to the sensor by the fruit. So I think that dia guna cara tu lah untuk sense maturity buah tersebut. So apa nak tambah? Vivian lah.
Okay, yang saya faham lah manfaat teknologi NIR ni dia untuk mengukur kematangan buah, sebab kalau sebelum teknologi ni petani dia akan mengukur kematangan buah melalui macam tengok dia punya color, lepas tu macam dia boleh test macam picit-picit buah tu, kalau dia lembut sikit kira matang lah macam tu. Tapi dengan adanya teknologi ni, NIR ni dia boleh scan dia punya molekul buah dalam tu. Contohnya dia scan macam dia punya gula dalam buah tu. Jadi dia punya kematangan tu boleh didetect lah. Jadi apabila kita pancarkan dia punya infrared. Saya rasa tu saja kot.
Okay. Terima kasih. Group number 4 kan? So okay, I have question to all the classes to ensure that all of you are paying attention. So what is the parameters that they measure to know the fruit quality? Siapa boleh bagi tahu? Anybody? Apakah parameter? What are the parameters that they measure using fruit NIR sensor? Anybody want to try? I think in
megapascal.
Ya, apa dia Nur Faris?
Megapascal.
Megapascal is the unit, right? So I'm talking about the parameter. What is the parameter? Apa yang di measure? Dalam video yang first tadi, siapa yang present the video tu, that it mentions in the video what are the parameters for fruit quality, fruit ripeness quality.
Chlorophyll.
Apa dia? Viviana ada cakap tadi. Viviana said it's gula.
Chlorophyll.
Sugar content.
Sugar content. Okay, sugar content apa dia? Kalau dalam dia punya parameter dia? Total sugar content kan? Total sugar content. Okay, apa lagi selain daripada total sugar content? Okay, so my point is when you get to know an instrument, you need to know what are the parameters that they measure. Okay, contoh kalau dalam fruit ripeness, okay, usually dia orang akan measure sugar solid content, SSC, sugar solid content. And sugar solid content ni usually dia punya unit dia adalah Brix, percentage Brix. Okay. Okay, apa lagi yang dia measure? Maybe kandungan water, moisture, moisture of the fruits, for example. So moisture, the unit is in percentage as well. Okay, so it's very important as an engineering student, you know what are the parameters that being measured. Bukan tadi masa you all present is okay, you all try to demonstrate your understanding of the functionality and the usage of the equipments. But also as an engineer, you need to know what are the parameters that they are measuring. Okay. Okay, group mana lagi yang belum? Group nombor 2 kan? Okay, can we proceed to group number 2? Group number 2, this one.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
I think this is the soft oxygen meter, which is the instrument for measurement the oxygen content in percentage of the soil. So it use the oxygen, it use the soil oxygen meter to measure the root respiration and detect the oxygen content of the soil in percentage.
Very good. Okay. Ada lagi?
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Ya. So saya akan present what oxygen level is good and bad. So oxygen level yang baik adalah oksigen oksigen baik adalah oksigen Jaya. Oksigen yang baik adalah oksigen yang level dia adalah 8 mg per liter ke atas. So, untuk oksigen yang buruk ataupun level oksigen yang tidak baik adalah below 4 mg per liter. So, kalau 4 mg per liter ke bawah maksud dia adalah tidak baiklah untuk satu tumbuhan.
Okay.
Okey, itu je. Terima kasih.
Okay, ada lagi group number 2? Itu saja ya daripada group number 2. So but I think you missed there is one more device there. Yang atas ni, yang hijau ni memang oxygen meter kan? But there is another one over here. What do you think? What is it?
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, it's a carbon dioxide punya meter lah. So it's a
For CO2.
Yeah, for CO2 because tumbuhan memerlukan CO2, right? For their respiration. Okay. So similarly, so those are the parameters that being measured. Oxygen, dissolved oxygen also being measured, and CO2 also is measured in its biological instrumentation, especially in plant growth environment lah, for them to monitor the plant growth. Okay, ada satu lagi group ke yang belum? Okay, let's go through ini dah. Yang ni dah. And tester kan, the last one. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, silakan group and tester.
Dengar tak?
Okay, dengar.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Okay, our group will present about N-Tester. Okay, what is N-Tester? Okay, N-Tester is a handheld measurement tool that we use to measure and identify the nitrogen requirement of a certain plant. Okay, as you can see, the N-Tester here is small, so it enables the farmers quick and easy readings to be taken of a certain plant. So, Gigi.
Okay. Hello, Assalamualaikum. Okay. Tumbuhan apa yang sesuai, yang boleh digunakan oleh N-Tester ni? Maknanya tumbuhan apa yang sesuai digunakan oleh N-Tester. Okay, N-Tester ni asalnya digunakan oleh petani-petani UK yang daripada United Kingdom yang menanam winter cereals ataupun dia punya cereals winter yang cereals yang ditanam waktu musim winter seperti winter wheat, winter barley and winter rye. Kenapa dia nak guna N-Tester ni adalah untuk test ataupun untuk measure dia punya nitrogen supaya dia boleh tahulah tumbuhan tu masih hidup tak di waktu musim winter tu. Okey, selain itu semua tumbuhan sebenarnya boleh digunakan oleh end tester ni untuk mengukur klorofil dan juga nitrogen. That's all. Azad?
And from me, how does this end tester work is kita ada sampel daun tu kan dekat ladang farm, and then kita kena the measurement point should be in the middle of the blade of the youngest fully developed leaf. Okay. Lagi satu, dia kena ada 30 random daun untuk check kandungan nitrogen dalam sampel tu. Ini adalah satu alat yang dia ada beberapa lagi jenis end tester yang lain. Bagi contoh yang saya sempat tengok dekat YouTube, dia ada menggunakan smartphone sendiri. Maksudnya orang ni yang kalau dia nak cek nitrogen, dia akan gambar beberapa gambar. Dia saya tengok dekat YouTube tu dia ada 6 gambar, and then dekat handphone tu sendiri dia kasih tahu. Dia bagi tahu yang tumbuhan ni sudah ada berapa kandungan nitrogen. Macam tu. Itu sahaja daripada saya.
Okay, itu saja ya daripada our final group. Thank you very much. So end tester ni it has a lot of similarity with green seeker. Kalau if you notice study group green seeker also measure nitrogen kan?
Yes.
Yeah, and end tester is also measuring nitrogen. Yeah. So the differences, what are the differences between the two? Okay, so the differences is the green seeker tadi dia remote sensing Maksudnya dia tak payah melekat pada daun tu. It taking the measurement afar from the sample. Tapi untuk end tester you have to put it on the leaves kan. It's contact punya sensor lah you have to. So for your information, in our laboratory, in our research in UPM, we also have been developing this kind of sensing instrument for nitrogen measurement using handphone. So we will just use the handphone, we take the pictures, and we will give you the values of the nitrogen in the leaf. So that has been developed by Miss Atika. She's doing PhD, your lab instructor. So she's doing PhD in developing the instrument for nitrogen measurements in leaves. Okay, nanti if you interested into to see the instrument, you can talk to Cik Atika lah. Okay, so basically semua group dah present I have, right. I have a few more examples of instruments that being used for biological system. If you look at here, we have chicken backpack sensor. What do you think the chicken backpack sensors do? Okay, so basically dia letak sensor dekat belakang chickens. It's basically to monitor the mites ataupun macam penyakit lah pada ayam. Macam kalau ada kutu ke. So the sensor will detect according to the movement of the chicken as well as the movement of the mites inside the feather. Okay, we also have collar sensor that has been used widely in cows. So this one is more on monitoring the behavior of the cows. Kalau based on the sensors reading, they will know behavior cows yang sakit, cows yang demam ataupun cows yang healthy. So the sensor will telling you different pattern of behavior of cows so that the farmers can take action based on the census measurement. Okay, just a very quick dah. Saya ingatkan hari ni saya nak habis awal tapi nampaknya macam lama juga. So we have a few more slides. Secara kesimpulannya, engineering measurements. So we have learned a few example of measurements that can be made for biological system. And we also have discussed about the fundamental of engineering measurements, which is based on mechanical and thermal quantity, right? Okay, but there are two types of measurements that can be done in engineering. Two approach, dua kaedah, two methods. One is through mechanical measurement system, and the other one is using electrical measurement system. Okay, so electrical measurement system, they are more accurate and provide electrical output signal that can be analyzed by the user. So in this course, semua contoh-contoh tadi yang you all discuss in the group, they are all electrical measurement system, if you notice. So electrical measurement system are more suitable for biological system. Kenapa? Sebab it's more accurate and it provide electrical output signal for more analysis. Sebab in biological system, usually kita perlukan analisis yang lebih selepas tu. Okay? Macam tadi kita measure daun, then we want to know, we want to do more analysis about the leaf so that we will know the health of the crop, for example. So in this course, we will focus on electrical measurement system, okay, not so on mechanical measurement system. That's why all of you have been given the kit yang dekat lab tu, that is an electrical measurement system, okay. Okay, this is just an example of the comparison between electrical measurement system. Example of measurement system. So there is kat sini tire pressure gauge and also Borden type pressure gauge. Dua-dua adalah pressure gauge, and then satu lagi tu Borden type pressure gauge ni dia dah improvise the transducer so that it can be connected to electrical circuit lah, so that you can do more accurate and precise measurement. Okay, we come to the last activity for the class. Semua pergi ke kahoot.it, everybody, and then I will start the game. There will be a quiz for you to, saya akan bagi pin number sekejap lagi. Let me run the Kahoot sekejap. Yeah, I will share with you the game. The game number, sekejap lagi, in the chat box. Sekejap. Okay, everybody enter the game number 4846644. Yeah. Okay. So saya dah nampak HJ dah masuk. Bagilah nama yang ni. Hafizuddin, Ivan dah masuk. We'll wait for all the members to join the Kahoot and then kita akan start ni. Okay, ada 17 orang. Lagi seorang Seorang lagi? Alright. 19 orang, semua orang. Okay, semua dah ada. So kita mulakan quiz kita. Let's start now. Nampak?
Soalan tak nampak, Doktor?
Tak nampak soalan. What is an engineering instrumentation system?
Tak ada soalan, Doktor.
Doktor kena share dekat skrin sebab
Oh,
dekat pilihan jawapan je.
alah, macam mana ni? Okay, maksudnya saya kena share dekat skrin
Betul.
Kita buka dekat laptop kot.
Saya nampak laptop lah. Kejap Sorry. Laptop. Kahoot. Alahai. Sorry guys, saya pun macam masih baru lagi menggunakan teknologi terkini ni. You all ni main game dah pakar kan? Kahoot. So, saya kena login lah kan. Macam mana login ni? Saya tak nak enter game. Macam mana nak buat ni? Korang macam mana?
Teacher.
Sorry kejap You all relax dulu. Let me see how I can log in here. Yeah, found it. Tak boleh tak Continue with Google. Lah tak boleh lah you all. So, you all semua tak jawab lah yang tadi kan? Okay, so soalan yang nombor 2. Alamak, dah habis dah. Sekejap sangat pula tu masa saya buat.
Sekejap sangat.
Tak sempat baca kan? Okay, so basically soalan yang nombor 2, basic engineering measurements parameters are, apakah basic measurement parameters? Okay, so basic measurement parameters are mechanical properties and thermal quantities lah. Just now that we discuss kan kat dalam ni. So sorry, saya tak dapat nak nak share with you the Kahoot tu. Sebab saya buat kat handphone, rupanya dia kena tunjukkan kan dekat screen. Okay, let's see the next next question. Sekejap, saya besarkan dulu. Mana ni Zoom ni pun dah hilang dah kat my computer. Okay, next question Kalau tak dapat, you all teka-teka je lah. Kalau tak dapat tak apa. So yang tadi semua tak jawab. True or false A biological system is a group of mechanical instruments working together to perform a common function. True or false? A biological system is a group of mechanical instruments working together to perform a common function. Okay, so 11 orang jawab true and 4 orang jawab false. Jawapan dia false tau.
Kami tak tahu mana satu true, mana satu false doktor. Kami tahu warna je ada biru dengan merah.
Oh, sebab tak nampak.
Betul.
Doktor.
Warna je doktor.
Alah, okay. So jawapan dia, okay, yang merah sebenarnya false, yang biru adalah true. Tapi jawapan dia adalah false Sebab a biological system bukannya group of mechanical instrument. Okay. Alright, next. Ada 6 soalan, tak apa kita go through je. Electrical measurement system is more accurate than mechanical.
True.
Yang ni senang kan? Tadi baru je cakap.
Yang mana satu true doktor?
True biru. False merah. Okay. True biru, false merah So 16 orang jawab true. Betul lah, electrical measurement system is more accurate than mechanical. Okay, next. So Ivan paling tinggi. Ivan dijawab je semua walaupun tak nampak soalan kan. Okay, true or false? True is blue. Electrical system can be analog or digital. True is blue, false is red. Okay, true So electrical system can be analog or digital. Okay, so there you go, Ivan nombor 1. Ada lagi soalan? Soalan terakhir. Mechanical system can produce digital mechanical output. True is blue, false is red. Okay, true, blue and false is red. Jawapan dia false Mechanical system can produce digital mechanical output. So basically electrical system yang boleh produce digital output. Okay, mechanical system. Alright, so that's the end of the quiz. So I'm sorry that you could not see Stella nombor 3. Tanya Stella. Nombor 2 3318 Lupi. And nombor 1 adalah betul kepada Ivan. Congratulations. Okay, so maybe next time I will improve the quiz. Basically today quiz just to get to know your initial understanding about the course. Tapi lepas ni kita akan buat quiz yang lebih, saya rasa saya lebih suka guna Mentimeter kot berbanding Kahoot ni. Mentimeter lagi senang kot. So I will share with you Mentimeter lah next time on our course. So with that, I think let me check. I think that will be the end of our class today. Let me check the. Yep, the slide pun dah tak ada apa-apa dah dalam slide tu. So thank you very much everyone for attending our first class for EAB 3612. Next week we will meet again at the same time and we will discuss on the content lah. Kita start with the first topic of the class, okay, which is the electrical instrumentation system. Apa tu? Hakim ke Luqman ke Amir tu yang trademark, you punya trademark post ni?
Hakim.
Okay, so sebelum kita semua dismiss, boleh tak semua orang buka kamera? Nak tengok muka yang handsome tadi betul ke kat dalam profile picture tadi tu? Okay, I would like to take a picture of everybody on the first class. Lepas tu kita tengok at the end of the class nanti, at the end of the semester kan, hari last kita punya class, we want to take another picture, want to see how you guys transform after EAB 3612 class. Okay, semua smile, make your best pose. Saya pakai ni lah, buat apa pakai handphone, pakai print screen Please come. Smile, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Hasanah tak nampak. Ari Bazri Habari. Eneko tak ada. Alright, satu page je kan. Alright, so thank you very much. That will be the end of the class today. I hope you enjoy your first class. We'll meet you next week during the lab as well as during the class. Okay? So bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Doktor.
Thank you, Doktor. Thank you, Doktor.
Ya, Doktor.
Syed, apa ni? Oh ni,